What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. As always, John Kelly here with my good friend, the king of Kentucky backpacking, Jeremiah Stringer. Sir, how are you, man?
Hey, dude, I'm doing great. Oh, I'm excited.
I am too, man. You know why I'm excited?
Why are you excited?
Because our guests make food.
Yes, and we all know that one of my favorite things on this planet is food, and they do have
Exactly.
chocolate flavor.
I know. They got some pretty cool flavors, like this banana flavor, banana bread, I think is what it is. Look good, man.
Banana.
But anyways, so just before we get started today, have you noticed the new Osprey backpacks that they came out with?
No,
Have you seen these? The UNLTD. That's literally what it's called, UNLTD. These backpacks are $700 a piece.
What's that supposed to stand for?
Probably unlimited.
$700. They better be Dyneema.
They're not Dyneema.
Well, now
they weigh like 5 or 6 pounds a piece.
Is it for mountaineering or something?
No, they're just backpacks. What they did is they decided they were just going to make their swag backpacks, I guess. Like, watch the video about it. Like, there's not really a good reason why they made these things. All it said is we just wanted to make something where we didn't have to worry about price.
Well, yeah, but what about the consumer?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw these backpacks. I'm like, well, who's going to spend $700 on this thing?
Well, I love Osprey, and that was like the first genuine backpack that I bought, but that's pretty expensive.
Dude, outside the cover, so it says they come with a real Osprey, to be fair.
What if?
Man, could you imagine that?
It's like the bonsai tree, except it's an Osprey.
Yeah, I was going to check it out, but not at that price. $700. I'm happy with my clearance packs that are $100 or less.
Are you sure?
Come on. You could spend $250 and get a really nice cottage brand, like custom backpack.
That's what it is, man. You got to shop around for the right fit for you at the right price point.
$700. I don't think they're very socially aware. Like, gas prices are $4 a gallon in Kentucky, which means everywhere else in the world they're like $12 a gallon. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. They probably got a pretty hefty research team. We're just a couple of guys.
That's not working for me, dude.
R&D, little market analysis, see what's available out there. Osprey's a big company.
Osprey went overboard on those packs.
I'll check them out.
I'm just saying. Anyways, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, but I wanted to say something about it because, I wanted to say something about it. So real quick, before we get going, we'll go ahead and get the fake news up and running, the fake news ticker, where you can find out everything you need to know about nothing important that's not real. So that is up right now, and you guys can check that out. Jeremiah, I got an email maybe a month or two ago from a company called Elevated Oats.
Yes, I saw them on Instagram.
And it basically said, we're really interested in coming and checking out being on your podcast. And I don't know about you, but I read that and I was like, well, I got to find out what these guys are about. So I got online, read their about story, kind of like how this whole thing came together. And I was immediately intrigued and I wanted to find out more. And so tonight we have two guests with us from that company, from the Elevated Oats, which is kind of fun. It's Megan and Lacey. They were both in the military together. They've been friends for years and years. And they came together to create this company that's not just about the oats they make. So we'll get more of that story here in just a minute. But let's welcome to the podcast, Megan and Lacey. Hi, girls. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just I'm like an old man complaining about $700 backpacks. That's all.
Somebody said that was more than their tent and they paid too much for their tent.
Yeah, $700 is expensive for anything. So yeah. I just don't get it. Like, I went on their website just to find out if these things were worthwhile. I'm telling you, the only people that are buying these are like celebrities, and they're buying them because they're expensive. That's the only reason. They're not even that great of a backpack, I don't think. But
that's the Gucci version of the backpack, bro. That's
Prada.
status.
I like to call Osprey the Prada. We call Patagonia the Gucci. They're the Patagucci's.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
And so Osprey is the Prada.
Yes.
So John, he was introducing you all, a little bit ago, and he mentioned a little bit about your all's origin story. So I would love for you all to kind of take us through, basically what you're about and how you all met, and give us a little context about you guys.
Totally. So I'm Megan, I'm the CEO, and
I'm Lacey, I'm the COO.
we met in Iraq in 2007. I was a late deployer. We were both air traffic controllers. That was kind of where it all started. Then we went back to Hawaii for a couple of years, did another deployment together. And then after that, life moved on different places because that's just what the military does. I think you got out, right?
Yeah, I got out, had a baby, got back in.
So I stayed in Hawaii for a little bit. I ended up getting out, going civilian air traffic control and the DOD and the FAA, like completely different lives we were living. Didn't even talk really. It would be like a random phone call just here and there, just like, hey, do you remember this person's name or whatever the case was? And then I called Lacey about making a logo, but it wasn't even for Elevated Oats. It was for a different company I had this idea for. And she never did anything about it.
Like, sure, yeah, I'll do that. I didn't do that.
Awesome. I had heard she was going to school for graphic design. So I was like, hey, I know someone that can help me out. And then life just kind of took a totally different turn for me. I left my second husband, moved to Alaska, had like no plan at all.
Now, and you moved to Alaska from Hawaii
after 12 years. Yeah.
Wow. Culture shock a little, maybe.
Cold shock, definitely.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
daylight shock.
Yeah, the winters are tough. It's tough here, and like you only get like 4 hours of daylight in the peak of winter. So, yeah, so moved to Alaska, and then I was like, hey, I have this other idea. Can you make this logo? And it just turned into so much more than just the logo. It was like, hey, can you make this packaging? Hey, we're talking every day. Let's do it together.
So Lacey, how long between you all finally wrapping up your last service time together and you all actually living near around each other and kind of starting this company?
Well, actually, we don't live near each other still today. I'm in Alaska right now visiting. I actually live in North Carolina for now.
So we timed this really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually do. We've built this company apart from each other for 2.5 years, which is technology is amazing nowadays.
And you almost can't be further apart than where you are in the United States. Like Alaska is like the far northwestern tip of the states, and you're almost to the southeastern tip. That's insane.
I know.
It makes it for a challenge.
Yeah.
A fun
challenge.
Wow.
Just color me impressed. That's pretty awesome. I did get the comment here. It's going to be awkward when Megan and Lacey announce their gourmet $700 truffle oatmeal. So
we give you guys
sure to quit complaining about $700 stuff.
Yeah, we'll give you guys a special discount code for that one now.
Oh, good. I hope it's like $795 off, or $695. And then Riff Outdoors said that move makes perfect sense. Nonsense. Okay, so you're living in North Carolina and Alaska, and how did all this work out?
It was like 10 years between us seeing each other. She had came and visited me when I had my son, and then it was like I came and visited at the beginning of 2021.
So we were already doing the company for over a year before we physically had been together again, just because of that distance. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it would just really started out being like, how can we help people? We came together during really dark parts of our lives and elevated each other in this way of like having a support system, eating better food, just making changes to take into account the mind, body, and soul, like including the outdoors and all of that too. And that's why we're more than granola. Like we want it to be a lifestyle brand where we're promoting a healthier way of living, not just eating.
Wow. That is something that I'm wanting to talk to y'all about, is like the mental health side of things that you all are kind of focusing on. Cause we're friends with this guy that lives in Tennessee, and he's part of like the 800-mile club in Tennessee. So he's like hiked all the Smokies, and his name's Benny Braden. And he's got a pretty big presence on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel, but he was an EMT for a number of years and suffered a lot from PTS.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge focus of what he does with Instagram, and basically utilizing the outdoors in order to, John, do you remember how many how many days now free he has been from a PTS attack.
He's inching closer and closer to 2 years, I think, without any PTS attacks.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Benny's a good man too. He's just a good man. He loves taking care of other people, and it's just an awesome story. So
yeah, so I wanted to ask you guys kind of what avenues do you take in order to address that and move your company toward helping being part of the solution when it comes to not just PTS but mental health in general, because I see it on your website.
We do a couple of things. The first thing that we do, especially on Veterans Day, we try to donate proceeds to psychedelic research for PTSD and veterans. And we also do monthly hikes, promoting people to get outdoors, come together, because, studies have shown just even 10 minutes outside will improve your mental and cognitive abilities.
Absolutely.
And then the food itself.
And then we bring snacks. We bring snacks. We give everybody snacks. Well, they come hike with us. And it's been an interesting challenge because I'm pretty fit and like in the mountains, and people see that. And so inviting people out, be like, come hike with us at Elevated Oats. A lot of people that we talk to are intimidated because they think it's going to be really strenuous, when it's like, no, we want it to be for everyone. We want it to be very inclusive. So figuring out how to deliver that message to get more people to actually come for themselves and not be intimidated,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've got a fan on here too. Outside Comfort Zone says, I had Elevated Oats on my CT through hike in 2021, I believe. It was stellar, for real.
Like super awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So I was reading kind of your about stuff, and Lacey, your relationship with food growing up. Do you want to tell that story a little bit? Because I found that kind of interesting. Just some background. I'm a parent of a 4 and a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And my 4-year-old son, he doesn't want to eat fast. He's not the situation kind of like what you were talking about, but there are nights when we sit and wait 2 hours for him to eat his food. And it's not because he doesn't like it. He's making animals out of it and playing tic-tac-toe with himself and that kind of thing. But your story's a little different than that. And I'd really like you to tell that.
Okay. Well, when Megan got her little claws into me, I was on a strict diet of Pepsi and Pepsi.
It's a health food diet, right?
Yeah, totally. And
I was sitting here drinking my Dr. Pepper, so I got you.
But even when I was in the military, like I've always had a poor relationship with food. But by the time, we reconnected, I was literally only drinking Pepsi, and I was starting to have health problems. And so she was on me a little bit about it. Didn't even realize I had a relationship with food. This was normal for me. I'm just a picky eater, and I suffer from being a picky eater, is how it felt. So the whole subject of food, I would kind of just avoid altogether. Obviously, I'm drinking Pepsi as food. But growing up, it was very much, I grew up in that mentality where it's like, eat everything on your plate, but the plate's made for you. No accommodations at all for like textures. I was very a texture person. So I was made to sit and eat for hours sit and wait until I finished my plate for hours on end. And there was this, times where I was like, physically made to eat food. And so, yeah, it's been a real healing journey, building this company and it being about food. I would have never done this without her because I couldn't even talk about it before.
I gotta tell you, I can totally relate. Like I grew up pretty poor, and you wanted to make sure that you ate everything, right? So, because you don't know exactly when your next meal is coming or what you're going to get, or like you got to eat at school and stuff. So you kind of get in the mentality that you have to clean your plate, not because somebody's forcing you to, but kind of out of necessity. Mm-hmm. And that created a really unhealthy relationship for food with me as well. And I'm like 6'3". At my biggest, I was around 300 pounds. So I cut all that weight. Now I'm around 210 or so. And I still find myself in the habit, though, of like I'll sit down and I'll eat, then I'll be full and there'll still be food in front of me. And I'll catch myself still eating it just because, I don't know, it's like it's embedded in your brain.
Yeah,
it is.
An unhealthy training.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I was
Yeah.
actually talking with a friend about that today. We went out to eat for lunch, and I was done eating, and I actually handed them my plate. And they're like, "Why are you giving this to me?" I said, "'Cause I will eat all of that, and
Good
I
job,
won't be
dude.
able to stop myself because it's so like I'm
There.
I'm a card carrying clean plate club member. You know, that's what I always say. Like, and it's something that once it gets in your head, you just have to finish that plate every time. Backcountry exposure. Devin's on here right now. I just love that food being made for outdoor lifestyles is continuously getting healthier and easier access for people who get overwhelmed by not knowing how to find good food.
Amen.
True.
Yes.
I was
Yeah, you guys like that comment?
Yes.
Any way to make it simple. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if we just keep it simple, like big companies are packing so much crap into our food. We're not food science. Like, we're not food scientists. I'm just a home chef. I literally took a home granola recipe and we just made it bigger. So we're giving you something that's real, like real stuff.
And why granola?
Okay. I don't have a good answer.
Sorry.
That's the recipe.
Okay, so I had a banana patch in Hawaii, and the only healthy thing that I could make with these bananas, because I would have like a whole bunch of bananas. The only healthy thing was granola. Everything else was like cake or pie or something. So I was making salads and like granola to sell to people. Very easy in Hawaii. I would go to the farmer's market every 2 weeks. You have a plethora of greens and things like that. When I moved to Alaska, it was not the same.
I warned you guys. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know in advance. I warned you.
When I moved to Alaska, they don't have that same produce available. So I was like, I cannot do a salad business like this here. And then it was like, well, I have this one really great recipe. Let me make another one. And then the idea kind of clicked. Now, what's special about our granola is that we put fruits or vegetables as the second ingredient. So we're actually putting real fruits or vegetables in there. It's not like a powder or something like that. And then it just kind of made sense in Alaska. There was no granola companies here. It's a small market. People love the outdoors. Like, this is a hearty snack. It's not just breakfast. And then we want to play with savory flavors too, doing like something sweet and spicy, and then maybe having something with like garlic. So you're snacking on it on the trail, not just like eating it with milk or yogurt. Like, we're trying to change the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I just find it interesting. It's like, you know, there's a lot of these companies that are coming up right now, like the different kinds of companies, and they're making different kinds of food. But you guys are the first ones who pretty much are solely focused on granola. So that's really interesting.
We want to do other things.
We're a small team.
We want to do more things. We're a small team, and we have learned, just entrepreneur mindset here, like, you have to be really good at one thing that you're doing. So, you know, we have other ideas, but yeah, it's hard to stretch ourselves out because then we're not putting that focus into that one thing and making it really amazing.
Well, it's better to do one thing really, really well than do like 5 or 6 things mediocre. So,
Exactly.
Freeze dried, dehydrated, or some other process.
Roasted.
Yeah, we actually bake it in the oven.
Yeah.
But we use
very cool.
a pizza oven, which is super cool. Had no clue it was going to work. Ended up leasing an old Pizza Hut that they left a bunch of equipment in there. The universe just kept sending us things that was like, here, keep doing it. Keep doing it. And so we cook it in a pizza oven. It just pops through in like 3 minutes, a little conveyor belt. It's amazing. And then the vegetables, we don't dehydrate or freeze dry the vegetables. We actually roast those, puree them, and add them into the granola before we bake it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So it's a softer granola.
Yeah.
It's not like the super chewy, like flaky pieces. Yeah.
It's really interesting. And I'm with Doc. Garlic granola does sound interesting. I'm a big garlic is like the #1 seasoning in my family. Like, we have at all times this jar of minced garlic, and we dump spoonfuls of it into just about everything. So
Yes.
Love it.
interested in that.
Yes. The garlic granola, I would love to make it a matcha garlic. So the key for us too is playing with colors. Our granolas, if you saw the website, our granola is very colorful. We have a pink granola.
That's from beets.
That's from beets, being the second ingredient. We made a blueberry granola that was colored with butterfly pea flower tea And if you add acid to this tea, it turns it purple. So we have this beautiful purple granola.
Have you ever caught your head like hearing something before you finish a statement and then you can't get it out of your head? Because you were explaining what it was colored with, and it sounded like you were saying it was butterfly pee. And I was like, I don't know if I want to. Then you finished it. I felt much better about the whole situation. But it was just like
it's a hard collection process.
Thank you for continuing to listen.
Yeah, these guys have some talent. How are they pulling that off?
The outdoors, it's things you learn out there.
So what's the shelf life of this granola of yours?
A year. It's great. It's amazing.
That's impressive.
So it packs well. It's a lightweight and nutrient dense. And this is why it's great for backpacking. Like I'll grab one. Okay. We have these small snack packs. So these are about 200-ish calories per pack. They're really light. It's 1.5 ounces, but we sell them in 8-ounce bags too. And then that's more for I think a whole bag is over 800 calories.
Oh, wow.
So it's great to share, great to have on the trail. It's only 8 ounces. So it's light, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
I was going to tell you, there is I think a huge market from a business perspective, which is a lot of times how I try to think about things with numbers. And I think there's a huge market for what you sell in backpacking. I don't know, something about granola and oats and that kind of thing just kind of goes with the outdoors. But a few years ago, I backpacked the Vermont Long Trail, which goes from Massachusetts to Canada. So it took me about a month, and you're constantly going into town to kind of resupply on food.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my staples, I'd either get like a full bag of cereal, and I would throw the box away at the market, and then I would just take the bag with me and eat it by the handful, or I get like an entire pound or 2 pounds of granola, or I would get like, if I got tired of it, because you get tired of stuff, if you eat it all the time, I would buy like Nature Valley bars. Yeah, look at Dad. He says whenever I was on the long trail, I would get like a whole box of Nature Valley bars and just like crumple them up into a Ziploc and just take them with me. But I'm curious if you have considered trying to find a way to make what you already have, having like one special bag that's like, this is our super calorically dense bag. That's absolutely perfect for backpacking, because the one thing that a lot of backpackers really face is like, you literally can't get enough calories. Like if you walk for 20 miles and you got 20 pounds on your back, then you're burning so many more calories than you can take in. So people will literally like bring oil and pour it into their food at night just to get an extra, a few hundred calories in. Have y'all considered making something like that?
We're over here talking.
Yes.
Well, yes.
We made these almond cocoa rounds, and a really easy thing for us to do is be versatile with our product. So we take the chocolate granola, we grind it up, make it a lot more fine, add in almond butter and honey, and we'll roll them into little balls, or you can make it like a protein ball or something like that. But those are great for those types of situations.
We don't actually produce those anymore though, but the recipe is on our website.
That's one of those projects that's like, I would love to make it happen, but we need to figure out the type of equipment for that.
But I like your idea of a super dense flavor type thing.
Yeah. We do have a bag where it's like a special flavor release. So not like our flagship flavors, a tester flavor. But yeah, leaning into that, we want to be an REI. So having something like that, we changed our packaging to fit with this type of audience.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's smart.
Yeah, I'm even looking at the 8-ounce bag of, what is this one? This is the orange amaretto. And it looks like there's 8 servings, 140 calories a serving. So you're well over 1,000 calories just in one bag.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well,
That's
we're going to definitely,
too.
We would love to send you guys some granola.
Yeah.
Oh, please do. That'd be awesome. Yes. I'd love to check it out, because that sounds really good too.
Yeah.
And it's pretty versatile. Like we like to put it on top of salads or just eat it straight out of the bag. Make cookies out of it. And what is the other cool way that we do? Oh, we heat it up. like an oatmeal.
Yeah.
Overnight oats too.
Nice.
So when you're out on the trail, if you do have this big bag and you're just eating it straight out of the bag, right? You're like, okay, cool. And you get tired of it. You want to try something new. You can literally just add hot water and make it like it's a hot oatmeal.
It tastes different too.
Yes. And it tastes
so
different.
That's cool.
There's a Peak Refuel. That's a company. I don't know if you've heard of them. They make like freeze-dried meals. They have my favorite meal by them is their breakfast. It's like strawberry and granola, and you're supposed to just add water, and it's got kind of like powdered milk in there too. So you can make cereal on trail, especially if you got cold water. But like you said, like on cold mornings, if you boil some water and pour it in there,
yeah,
oh my God, it warms your whole body up.
I'll tell you, man, I used to get it's called Love Crunch. It's a granola. It's got dark chocolate and strawberries in it. And I would buy a big bag of that and just put it in separate little Ziploc bags with powdered milk. And that's what I would do in the mornings. I'd either put hot water in it. If it was cold out, I'd put cold water in it. If it was warm out, and I would eat it as cereal. And it was awesome.
Very smart.
So yeah, I'm totally down for that because that's easy. Anything that's super easy where you don't have to spend a lot of time, especially if I don't have to use any fuel. So if I don't have to use any fuel to heat up water to do something, I'm all over that. Anything it's easy.
Love.
So well, Jeremiah, on the other hand, he wants to use as much fuel as he can. Jeremiah gets up super early when he goes out backpacking. He's like the first one up in the morning. That's not true at all. Like Jeremiah actually was part of a group called the Brunch Club for a reason. So
yeah, we get up. I got to tell you, I was backpacking literally yesterday, and I went out for an overnighter, and I was hanging out with one of my buddies, and then it rained. It started raining like right at dark, and then it didn't stop raining until we were well asleep. So we just decided to sleep in. I like to look and see what time the temperature is going to start increasing. You know, if it's going to be 40 degrees when I wake up, but if I can wait till about 10 a.m. and it's going to be in the 60s, I'm laying in that hammock until then. But I was going to tell you guys something that he showed me on this trip. And I think, like you said, it'd be great to be an REI, right? That's kind of like every outdoor company's dream, because REI is like a huge provider for entry level gear and all things to do with outdoors. And that market never goes away. Never goes away because there's always new people. So I was going to tell you guys, let me preface this. I don't know how great it is for the environment. And I know we all care about the environment. Okay. So take what, John,
go ahead, man.
Take what I'm about to say and think about it a little bit. But here's what they had. He bought them at Kroger, and it is an oatmeal packet, which is very, very common. That's like go-to breakfast on trail. You boil some water, you pour it into the packet, stir it up, and you eat it. So they had one at Kroger that he bought and showed me that is the size of an oatmeal packet, and it's packaging like an oatmeal packet, but it turns into the bowl. And I was like, I don't know why everybody hasn't already done this, and you guys should get on that train before other people, because different's better than better.
She's itching, dude. Here she comes. It's coming. Come on, Megan. Tell us what's going on.
Here, Megan.
Okay, so we have been trying to contact this company.
This company, they're called GFB, Gluten-Free Brothers. They just changed their name. They are actually they make that package. And yes, we think it's amazing. We bought some. We're like, how can we make this happen? It makes so much sense.
Gluten-Free Brothers will pay you to let us use this bowl, please.
Please contact us.
So you're saying we need to get them on the show?
Yes.
Yes. Tell them about you, and we will bring these worlds together. This is what we do. This is what we do at the Backpacking Podcast. We bring worlds together.
I love it.
But they're not in the that's not their focus. They're definitely in grocery stores. They make multiple products. So they make these oatmeals. They also do like little ball, like bites and things.
I'm going to look these guys up.
But it's genius. Yeah,
hey, stop talking about them. Sorry.
Look at Sister Up. We would love to make these packets though.
So why can't you guys just take it? I don't know how the rights and all that works. And I know that you all are like figuring out your company and everything too. But if you could get a third-party provider that's not them that could do that, then I'm telling you, that is your avenue in to exploding. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Kroger to get my breakfast for the next trip.
I know.
And I mean,
know.
I've seen
I
quite a
know,
bit
it's genius.
of breakfast on the trail.
We're right here with
We're
you.
trying. Yeah, we're trying to make that happen. I think we've even tried to see if they have patents on it, but they are definitely the ones manufacturing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which, yes, we can look into places that's like, hey, make us this custom package.
We'd have to change it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Copyright laws or, like intellectual property laws or some stuff.
Not quite. It's not our forte.
Yeah.
So I think if we get with the right legal team, like when we have the money to expand in that product,
Sure.
we would love to do it like that because it's so smart and it makes a lot of sense for backpackers.
Yeah, and y'all could do the hot granola, and that would be everybody's breakfast. I mean, that is I don't know how much y'all know about backpacking. I know that you do your monthly hike meetups, and also y'all have rucked quite a bit, I assume, in the military. That's not as fun as the kind of backpacking that we do, but
Or
but they
delicious.
get to carry guns, which is kind of nice. So
that's true.
just
That's
saying.
true.
Just saying. Really cool guns too.
Heavy guns. They were really heavy guns.
Well, that's true. That's true. They're definitely not ultralight. That's one thing. It's for sure.
But it goes so deep because every year, I mean, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Appalachian Trail and the Continental Divide Trail, and there's all kinds of long trails that take months and months, and that's a huge demographic when it comes to, like, we work with companies because John and I both have YouTube channels, and they're all about hiking and backpacking. So we work with companies to do with making gear, making food, all that kind of stuff. And that the market is just crazy. Not to get too deep into the business side of things, but I mean, it goes hard in the paint, you know?
Oh, we're deep in the business side of all of these things. Yeah. It's so interesting too, because running a business, especially food business, you're like, yeah, I make food. It's like, I haven't made the granola and I can't tell you how long. Like,
I've never made the granola.
yeah, there's so many hats that we wear to like, how do we build this? And then coming up with a strategy on like how you're going to take the business ahead. How do you brand? Who do you brand to? Yeah.
You can't find us online.
ElevatedOats.com.
There you go.
That's right. Oh, that's
There it
good.
is. There it is.
Lacey, I assume that you do a lot of the graphic design for it then?
Yeah, pretty much all the graphic design.
Well, your head's in the right place because branding is like the biggest part. I mean, I don't know, Apple versus Samsung. Those are two greats, but I think Apple's branding's better.
I agree.
And it helped get them to where they are. But you're doing awesome stuff. Y'all's stuff looks great online. I know John is dying to address some of these comments. Go ahead, man. Hit us with some of them.
Well, I'm not there yet. We got to hold off. We still got some other things to talk about before I can bring up the comments that I'm saving. So, but I did want to say I went over to GFB's website, and you guys aren't kidding. Those little packages are awesome.
And now they're going to have such an increase. But come to elevatedoats.com and try our granola.
Well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to blow them up and try and give them your all's info and be like, you guys have got to hook up with these guys.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
We would love to pay them.
We would love to pay them.
We would love to pay them for that. To use
I will, because I mean, that's really cool. And I really like having granola on trail. So it's like, yeah, let's figure out a way to get them in touch with you guys. I want to make this happen now.
Yeah. We really think that they could benefit too if it's their design. You know what I mean? It's just another business. It's just
business. Oh, here we go. I'm going to have to look up pizza granola to see if that's a thing now.
Pizza granola.
Look at that. Look at her face. Look at Megan's face. She's going, ooh.
Intrigued. Well, what was it, last year or the year before that? We put out this little fake,
it was for Thanksgiving.
It was green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole flavor.
Granola. And people were into it. They really wanted it.
Okay.
We didn't do it. Look at their faces.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
It was weird.
We thought it was weird too.
I'm glad you guys are saying that never actually happened.
No,
that's good.
It didn't.
You know what would be good is if you had like some like snacky ones that are a little salty, like cheddar cheese
Yes,
Oh.
I love the savory ones. We want to be seen as a snack.
Yeah.
So it's a process of getting there. And that's the thing too. It's like how often do we come out with a flavor? And trying to keep it simple in the kitchen too.
Or even do like seasonal ones, like in the fall, you could do like a pumpkin pie one or something like that. Or
Yes, we do seasonal ones. Our last flavor was that lemon berry muffin. The next one we're working on is like a sweet, spicy, kind of like pineapple habanero.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Let me throw some mango in there or something.
Yeah, we're trying with the mango. So we've done several tests, and the mango doesn't have like a strong flavor. It doesn't pop. So that's why we're kind of going to try out the pineapple.
Yeah, good call.
See if that works. Yeah.
Good call. Look at this, like right here. Yes, savory. I'm trying to stay away from the sweets. So
nice.
Well,
that's great.
Well, I'm already hungry.
And we try to keep out the sweets. Something that I love about like the feedback that we get is that's not very sweet. That's not too sweet. Like our granola is not a sweet granola.
Details from granola.
Well,
I like that.
I was looking. Y'all have on your website. Y'all have the nutrition facts posted.
Thank you, Dan.
And it changes colors with the flavors, which I think is entertaining. But I see that you don't have a ton of added sugar, which is good. But I always think granola, I always think sweet. But I think John could be onto something with like a sharp cheddar, or like instead of eating a Cheez-It, eating some granola, especially if you can make it healthier. Because y'all's ingredients. What's that?
Oh, I just really like this idea.
I like that I can pronounce all your ingredients. You know,
me too.
Does it agree with the vegan community too?
The chocolate one does.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All depends on how people feel about honey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The other three have honey. Yeah.
Yeah. Honey is the tricky one. Some people are okay with it. Some people are not. So, but we would like to do more flavors that are full vegan, because the maple syrup works great.
Well,
that sounds good, actually.
It's things that are tailored to vegans. No offense, vegans, but I just never like any of it. If it's like specifically designed for vegans, so I'll let you guys navigate those waters.
Okay. Did you say you were really into the chocolate? Right? Did I hear that correct?
They're already picking on Jeremiah for this too, because it says if there's no chocolate, Jeremiah isn't interested.
That's our only vegan one.
Yeah. And so it definitely wasn't made for the vegans, but the vegans get to benefit from that one for sure.
Well, Jeremiah always gets some love in the comments there. Jeremiah, your hair is once again magnificent.
Always.
Hey, Jeremiah, can you hook them up with Gonex? Can you make that happen, man?
I could try on that one, but I don't think they'll go for it.
Oh, that's great.
You all put on your website "Eating the Rainbow," but I don't really know what that means. Can you take me through that?
Come on, man. Skittles. Taste the rainbow. They just got
not those
the
rainbows.
Version.
Not those
rainbows. What is yours?
I'm gonna geek out if I talk about it. I'm sorry.
I get really excited about it too. We kind of basics. Take it down to the basics, right? Shop on the outside edge of the grocery store is like one of the healthiest ways to go shopping. When you eat colors, that's like the one way in my head I know I'm getting the nutrients that I need through the day. So if you have a plate that is like just chicken, rice, and I don't even know, mashed potatoes or something, right? You're like just eating really plain colors. When you add a salad that's like green, pinks, yellows, like all these different things, it's the easiest way to eat for all of your,
make sure you're getting all your nutrients,
chakras, and for all your nutrients.
Huh. And that's a really interesting way to look at that. I've never actually heard anybody say that before. And I've thought I've heard everything when it comes to that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you the science behind it real quick, because I'm a geek.
Oh,
the plants have phytonutrients, that's the word, and those basically protect them from the elements like the sun and stuff. And when we eat the food associated, like the colors are associated with different types of phytonutrients. So like red is all one type of phytonutrient, and orange, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. That's how you can tell if you're getting enough nutrients because of your colors.
Huh.
I never thought about that at all, but that is absolutely genius. I was like on Instagram Reels and then there's a guy making something. I was swiping through, and then he had like this really long red chili pepper, and that caught my eye because it's like bright red, and I was like, oh man, that looks good. I bet that adds a lot of flavor. You all, man, that's smart.
I'll tell you, we've got. I'm not gonna lie though. Like, I think some of our people aren't quite understanding. That's exactly why I only eat Sour Patch Kids. The beer's on the outside edge of my grocery store. I'm with you. And M&M's Fruity Pebbles Tricks. So I
Those are
don't know.
inside.
I don't know if they're quite getting that. I mean, just saying. But no, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, so you guys are now doing all of this. What is the dream like a year from now? What are you looking at going, okay, so we're doing this. Everybody who has a company like you do, you're not thinking like tomorrow. You're thinking into the future, I'm guessing. Most successful companies do. So what is the next year, the next few years look like for you guys? What's the hope and the dream, and what are you looking for?
We want to expand.
Our main goal is to match our current capacity. So we've had this factory space since the beginning of 2020. We started the company right before COVID. So we got the factory space. We have it all set up. We keep streamlining it to make it more and more efficient, which is awesome. Love doing that part of the work. But now it's like, we need to match that capacity. So ideally, like Alaska Airlines would just be so fitting. Such a fitting person to work with.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to say in the next year, within the year, we're going to talk to Alaska Airlines. We're about to get into Walmart next month here locally in Alaska.
Wow.
So ideally, we're just expanding.
Becoming nationally recognized.
Becoming a nationally recognized brand.
That's awesome. Really cool. We need to get you in Walmart in Kentucky.
Okay.
All the Walmarts.
It's got to happen. Great. It's got to happen.
Yes.
Sounds like the ladies here are way smarter than the rest of us. So, and we have an agreement of, I believe so. So, and another one by far, LOL. So, that's awesome. I mean, to become a national brand's huge.
Yeah,
it's one thing to be kind of a cottage, self-contained, pay as you order kind of, or build it as you order kind of thing. But man, to be able to get it to a point where you guys can take it even further. Someone said you ought to go to Shark Tank.
We've had those thoughts.
It may be in the future.
It may be in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
We're going to start looking into investment. We actually won the 2021 Veteran Startup of the Year last year through the Rosie Network, which is all for entrepreneurs. So, I mean, our goal is to be a startup. Like, we want to blow this up really fast. Because it's not about the granola. Like, we're spreading this message about mental health and things. And it's like, there's not a better time than right now with everything that's going on.
Correct.
Yeah, the last 2 years have definitely necessitated that, so to speak. We got another comment here. I love this. # all the Walmarts.
So we mentioned earlier, part of like the mental health side of things was your monthly hiking. So I was curious, y'all are both ladies. Do y'all have a lot of success getting some of the other ladies to come and meet up with you?
It has been more of a challenge, I think. No, yes. We do have women that come, but it is more of a challenge. I could go on that all day if you'd like, but I'm sure you don't want me to bore you. But we're pursuing different avenues.
We're trying to figure out how to get people to come out on these things, just because it's
Alaska and it's winter.
It's Alaska and it's winter. Thank you. Yes. We started doing it right at the end of like fall last year. And there was one hike where like a bunch of people came out. It was great. Not that all of them have not been great, but the winter ones are more of a challenge because people just don't know like the right garb to wear, or it's just a way more intimidating environment.
And it's cold. Yeah.
It's cold. It's like 8 degrees. Some people don't know what the right things are to have, or that you lose 70% of your heat just through your head and your neck. It's like, if you just have a gaiter or a beanie, you'll be in a way better position. But that's where we're trying to like educate people at the same time, be like, you can do it. These are the things that you need. So it's been a challenge, but I think it's going to be getting a lot better. We're in the melt period right now. So spring is coming. A lot of people like to get out during the sunnier times.
Now, we have a saying in backpacking called "Be bold, start cold," and somebody goes, "Sounds like there's no other option but to be bold, start cold" with you guys.
Yes.
And then somebody's asking, what are the temps in Alaska right now?
Today it was like we woke up, actually it was pretty cold. It was 18 degrees this morning, but it's like 35 highs right now. I think next week is going to be in the 40s.
Oh, nice. It was 70 today where I am. And this weekend, but here's the thing, this weekend I'm going backpacking with a buddy of mine, and he's bringing some newbies with him, and we may have to cancel because they don't have gear to get into the 30s because the temperatures are actually going to drop down below freezing this weekend. And so we may end up having to cancel our trip, which is really sad because we've had this trip planned for a while. I may still go by myself, but
it's all about the right gear.
Yeah, if you don't have the right gear, it can be really, really frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so we're gonna do it. It's time, Jeremiah.
What is it?
It's time. The Pizza Ninja.
You need to get ready.
Hold on, John.
Time for what?
Hold on. I have one more question here.
Okay. You get the semi-important question out, and I'll get the really important question out after that.
Okay. Lacey, you are based out of North Carolina, you said, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I know what hiking is like in North Carolina because I'm from Kentucky, and I visited North Carolina quite a bit. Now, what I don't know, Megan, this is going to be way too general. Okay. So take it wherever you want to. But I have zero idea what Alaska's like besides like the TV shows. So I want you to tell me, what is it like hiking in Alaska, even though that's super general?
I've never really been into hiking, but I came out here and these mountains are an energy in its own thing. It's impressive. The people that are here and like the backyard that we have. I would highly recommend coming to Alaska and hiking it anytime, especially during the summer, because then you're dealing with like, they call it the land of the midnight sun. You're dealing with the sunlight out all day. You're hiking at midnight, summiting at midnight on a mountain, and the light is still out. It's amazing. And the wildlife and the trails are great and the people are amazing. You have awesome snacks here.
I love that part.
Yeah, it's just so epic. It's
unreal.
It is unreal.
I like Hawaii is paradise and in warm weather, and Alaska is paradise in cold weather.
I would love to go to Alaska when it's a touch warmer out, just to go be able to be out on those mountains, because they're unbelievable. I mean, I've seen pictures. I've had friends that have gone on cruises actually out in Alaska, and the pictures they come back with, and it's unbelievable. It's one of the few areas that's relatively untouched for a lot of the area, and
the population's so small. It's really not a lot of people here. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. It's time to get to the important stuff, Jeremiah. Are you done now?
Okay.
I will say, let me say one thing though.
Yes, please.
If you guys ever want to come to Alaska, feel free. Love to take you into the mountains or tell you about what trails to go on that are like the best. There's so many backpacking opportunities and cabins. Yeah, we'll feed you granola.
I can't believe I have an end to hiking in Alaska.
That's my first. I've never had an end to that. I've got all kinds of other places, but not Alaska.
We got a pretty solid squad here.
That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out for sure.
Let me ask you one other thing.
You're hogging all the questions, Jeremiah.
I'm sorry. I just want to see if my buddy I played high school football with, he moved like in middle school, beginning of high school, from Anchorage to Kentucky, which I'm sure was a culture shock. But he was telling me that how he lived in Alaska wasn't all that different than living down south. Is he lying to me?
I'm from Indiana originally, so like right above you, and it's really the same, except for the light situation.
Okay.
The daylight situation is different, but it's the same cold.
Okay.
I love this comment right here, band. Eeyore said, Alaska's the only place I've been where I had to roll down the car window to stick my head out to see the top of the mountains next to the road. I want that so bad. I want that so bad. Mountains are like everything for me. So I I got to see that. All right. Jeremiah, are you finished now?
Poop.
Here we go. And I didn't even get to preface it. Way to go, Jeremiah. Ruin my whole spiel here, man. So the pizza ninja asked at 8:26 p.m. Good question on the input. Did I miss the output question? And by output, I mean poop. My goldfish drown says 2 guests equals double poop talk, and granola equals poop. And so now that we're here and we're getting this out of the way, and everybody can be happy now, because Jeff Peters was on here. He's like, he's ready. He's ready. Let's do it.
Emojis.
An everyday backpacker poop. So here comes. Do you guys have any good poop stories from like the military or being out on trail? Or it can be about you. It can be about anybody else. What do you guys have?
Oh, wait, anybody else?
It can be about anybody. It can be about one of your fellow soldiers. It doesn't have to be you.
Mm-mm.
Maybe poop be with you.
I gotta say, I don't know where did poop. I'm like, I'm new to this whole thing, right? So I do have a good story, and I told her while we were sitting in the green room.
Comment on this.
I'm gonna turn very red. I told her while we were sitting in the green room, she's like, "You have to tell this story." I was like, oh God.
We all have told them it's totally we are a very accepting poop story crew here at the Backpacking Podcast.
It's not even that bad.
It's not that bad. I went out on a backpacking trip with some friends, and these are all like older people that do this all the time. Very intimidating for me. And I was like, okay, we're traveling to Hawaii. We're gonna do this trail. It was on the Big Island. It's on the Hamakua coast side. What is that? Waipio Valley, hiking Waipio Valley. You go over like 8-9 miles. You hike in this valley. It's beautiful. Well, we get over there and I wake up super early in the morning. It's just me in the dark, not knowing what the hell to do. And I'm like, oh man, I've got to go to the bathroom and I have no clue where I'm supposed to be going. So I start kind of with my flashlight going out into the brush, but I mean, it's like banana leaves and stuff everywhere. I know this land. I've lived here. I know what's out here. I like hear some rustling. I kind of flash my flashlight over. There's boars. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do. What am I going to do?
Oh my God.
So I just went to the beach and I was like, I'm just gonna go right here. And the ocean is gonna save me.
Okay, how big are boars? How big are boars in Hawaii?
They're big. They're pigs. I mean, they're large.
Yeah,
it's a boar.
I'm just curious. I know like wild pigs in Tennessee can get up to like 6 to 10. I believe they found a 10-foot long pig.
Okay, I don't know about
in
a 10-foot
Tennessee.
long pig.
Oh,
These were probably like 5 feet. I mean, they were still.
That's not small.
It's not.
I don't think
That's
so.
not small.
I didn't want to mess with them.
No, I don't blame you one bit on that. I don't blame you one bit on that.
Oh, especially when you drop trowel. Like
Oh man.
that's worst case.
I was like,
scenario.
LOL,
Yeah.
real floater.
I'm just gonna act like I'm sitting out here in the water in the morning, you know?
Yep. Apparently, banana leaves should be good for wiping.
I would think so.
I don't think you needed it.
I didn't need it. I
I
had
think
the
she was
ocean right
leaving that.
there. It was.
And then we got
great.
LOL, a real floater.
Yeah.
There you go. So
South Korea's. Oh
Yes.
man. Yeah,
here's the thing: everybody who's been on here has a story, and they're all awesome. Like it's if there's one thing you know about backpackers, it's gonna come up, and we are gonna talk about poop at some point because that's just it's a reality. It has to happen, and
It's
they
the
love talking
nature
about
of
it.
it.
And our crowd will not let us get out of an hour of talking without bringing it up. So with that said, we're starting to wind down towards an hour here. And I would love for you to kind of tell people where they can find you online. The best places where they can find you guys and learn more about you.
Okay. Oh, you can buy us online at elevatedoats.com. We ship nationwide. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all at Elevated Oats.
Really easy though. If you go to our Instagram there's a link tree. Like that's our link in our bio. And that will literally take you to anything that we're doing. It has our about us on there. It has our next hike on there. If you want to come to our next hike, if you're in Alaska, yeah, find it all there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We appreciate you guys being on here with us. This has been a lot of fun. I told you the hour goes fast. It goes real quick.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Like, especially from all the way across the nation. So cool.
Yeah, who knew we could do this stuff? This is just crazy. This is just crazy. Oh, and I didn't realize this, but apparently the third wave is a saltwater bidet.
Yes.
Oh
works
man.
beautifully.
Okay.
Oh, that's
we'll
I'm
just
so
let that
happy.
go.
I'm so happy you shared the story with us, though. That was great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, and I can't wait to try this oatmeal. Like, especially now that we know more of the story behind it and what you guys are doing. This is really cool stuff. And if you guys are wanting to check them out, go to elevatedoats.com and check these guys out. It looks like some fantastic stuff. So, and that new flavor sounds good.
Can I do a real quick shout out here to Outside Comfort Zone? Can you email us at hi@elevatedoats.com? Thank you.
There you go. And yes, Elevated Oats granola.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For all your
Absolutely.
granola needs.
Well, if you guys don't mind, just hang out in the green room for a little bit. We're going to come back and we're going to chat with you after this for just a few minutes. But
Yeah. Thanks,
we're going
everyone.
to wrap things up. Thank you so much for being on here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us and allowing us to share all about what we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. But I have to give you a hard time.
Oh no, here it comes.
So the Pizza Ninja asked the question, did Jeremiah make any merch yet?
Oh, this is how he wraps up the show.
So Jeremiah, I want to show you something. I want to show you. I'm going to give you an example of what life could be like for you.
Okay.
I got this today, a picture on Instagram.
Oh, what?
Do you recognize that catchphrase? Stay strong, hike long.
Stay strong, hike long.
Would that be from my YouTube channel? Oh, it would be. That is one of my T-shirts. Look at that. He's wearing that out in California, I believe. And then look at this, Jeremiah. That would be Ben McMillan wearing that from Hilltop Packs. Jeremiah,
the JK hoodie on.
Can you stop lying to us and get your freaking merch done?
All right. I should pay somebody to set it all up and everything and then just give them royalties.
If that's all it takes, I'll do it. You can pay me. I'm down for getting some money, bro. Like,
let me reach in that pocket.
I will take money from you all day long. That's all I'm saying. I will take it all day long. But these people, man, everybody wants that What's Going On Hawkers shirt, man. They all want it.
I'll tell you what, man. What's going on, Hawkers? Listen to him. Okay, during one of our meetings, we'll set aside a little time. You show me how to set it up, and I'll do it.
That's it. We're happy. Okay, everybody's heard this now.
Everybody's heard it.
Everybody's heard this. It's gonna happen. So again, I had to get that out of the way. It has to happen. Again, just a reminder, check out elevatedoats.com. Go check these ladies out. They're fantastic. It's kind of fun sometimes we have guests on and we don't get to meet them beforehand. Yeah, just kind of meet them the night of. A lot of guests we have are friends that we have in the backpacking industry or whatever. And these ladies, we never met them before. And it was kind of like, well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. And I love because
they're awesome.
You get to talk to them. You get to learn like who they are, what their story is in real time. And everybody kind of gets to experience that with you as you're kind of growing together.
Yeah. I mean, what a great story of two friends who were separated like by a lot of miles for years, who came together to do something amazing. That's just really cool. And just the fact that they happened to be both in Alaska at the same time when we're doing this.
Yeah. What are the chances?
That's so cool. That's so cool. Hey, one other thing. We just finished up recording a podcast with Kyle O'Grady this past week.
Kyle hates
hiking. And we had a great time talking with Kyle. There's a lot of editing that has to be done on that episode. Yeah. And if you know Kyle, you don't have to ask why. But we are excited about that coming up in the next few weeks. We're going to give you a real quick snippet from that episode real quick. So check this out. So if you want to know what that's all about, check the YouTube page out here in just a couple of weeks, and you're going to get to see what that is.
I'll just tell everybody on our April the 4th live stream, we'd normally do a live stream that night, but I'm going to be on vacay. So we're set to publish that video, the episode with Kyle on that week.
Yes,
So
I think that's the first week of April, right?
April 6th will be the date that drops. So everybody stay tuned. There won't be a live stream that week, but we still have an episode coming. So,
Kyle is definitely up, and we are excited about that. Jeremiah, who's our next guest on here?
Oh, let me look. Sorry, I'm a little underprepared tonight, but I got it pulled up now. Oh my gosh. Backpacking and Blisters.
Backpacking and Blisters. Another fantastic podcast. I love these guys. Carl Mandrioli, man. He's the real dude. He's a good buddy of mine. I cannot wait to get them on here next week. That's going to be a good time. I'm guessing there's probably a few of you that are listening or watching right now who are already listening to them. They've been around for a while. Great podcast. Can't wait to have those guys on next week.
Yeah, you know
guaranteed. What's that?
You know what that means?
What's that?
For a select few, they will get to hear their favorite podcast all in one. For a select few. A select few.
That's right. And you're guaranteed we're probably going to talk about Sasquatch because that's a thing for them. So
good.
So we're going to talk Sasquatch next time. But with all that said, thank you guys for tuning in to the Backpacking Podcast. For myself, John Kelly, and my good friend, the King of Kentucky Backpacking, Jeremiah Stringer. We will catch you on the next one.
Adios, folks.